यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन जमुनतीरवनचारि जमुनतीरवनचारि जय राधमाधव Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Radha, Madhava Radha, Madhava Radhe Radhe, Jaya Radha, Shama Sundar Radha, Sundar Radhe Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gaura Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So let us start with the invocation prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nigamakalpatarurgalitam Phalam Sugamukadamrita Dravasamyutam Bipata Bhavatam Rasamalayam Muhurahu Rasika Bhuvi Bhavukaham Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Buddhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya Om Karoti Vachalam Pangam Nagayati Girimat Kripatam Hamande Shri Guruntina Tarigat Paramananda Mata Shri Chaitanya. Hare Krishna, Prabhus and Matajis. Welcome to today's session of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are in Canto 4, Chapter 24. I think we have to start from text 20. You are in the part of descendants of Prithu Maharaj, the end part of Prithu Maharaj pastimes. And today's session start with the answer or reply for the question of Vidra. Vidra asked to Maitreya in text 18. Yeah. In text 18, he asked that. Sorry, 1 minute. Okay. See, here it is given. The most powerful demigod, second only to Lord Vishnu, is self-sufficient. Although he has nothing to do as per for the material world, for the benefit of those in the material world, he is always busily engaged everywhere and is accompanied by his dangerous energies like the goddess. So, sorry, in the previous one, okay. Here, Vidra asked Maitreya, my dear Brahmana, why did the Prasedas meet Lord Shiva on the way? Please tell me how the meeting happened, how Lord Shiva became very pleased with them, and how he instructed them. So, we're all going to discuss about in the future verses. It is coming that Rudra's instruction, Lord Shiva's instruction to the Prasedas. Hope you all know about Prasedas. Prasedas are the descendants of Prithu Maharaj. Okay, so we are starting the verse from text 20. Can anyone of you repeat after me? 4.24.20.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Sasamudram upavistirnam
Sasamudram upavistirnam
apashyan sumahatsaraha
apashyan sumahatsaraha
mahan manaiva svacham
mahan mana iva svacham
prasanna salilashayam.
prasanna shalilashrayam.
You continue with the translation and purport.
Translation and purport, Mataji, or only?
Translation and purport.
Okay. Translation and
But
purport by
paragraph by paragraph, Marji. Let us discuss the
Okay,
first.
okay.
Okay, yeah, continue.
Translation and purport by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. While traveling, the Prachetas happened to see a great reservoir of water, which seemed almost as big as the ocean. The water of this lake was so calm and quiet that it seemed like the mind of a great soul, and its inhabitants, the aquatics, appeared very peaceful and happy to be under the protection of such a watery reservoir. Purport. The word Sasamudra means near the sea. The reservoir of water was like a bay, for it was not very far from the sea. The word upa, meaning more or less, is used in many ways, as in the word upapati, which indicates a husband, more or less, that is to say, a lover who is acting like a husband. Upa also means greater, smaller, or nearer. Considering all these points, the reservoir of water, which was seen by the Prachetas while they were traveling, was actually a large bay or lake. And unlike the sea or ocean, which has turbulent waves, this reservoir was very calm and quiet. Indeed, the water was so clear that it seemed like the mind of some great soul. There may be many great souls. Jnanis, yogis, and bhaktas, or pure devotees, are also called great souls, but they are very rarely found. One can find many great souls amongst yogis and jnanis, but a truly great soul, a pure devotee of the Lord, who is fully surrendered to the Lord, is very rarely found. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Bhagavad Gita 7.19. A devotee's mind is always calm, quiet, and desireless because he is always anyabhidashita shunyam, having no desire other than to serve Krishna and his personal servant, friend, father, mother, or conjugal lover. Due to his association with Krishna, a devotee is always very calm and cool. It is also significant that within that reservoir, all the aquatics were also very calm and quiet, because the disciples of a devotee have taken shelter of a great soul. They become very calm and quiet and are not agitated by the waves of the material world. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, the Prashedas are actually traveling as per the instruction of their father. Okay, their father name is Prachinabari. Means they are actually, the Prasedas are the grandchildren of Prithu Maharaj. So they are actually 10, there are 10 sons for this king, Prachinabari. And he actually instructed them to follow certain austerity, and he becomes Prajapati. Prajapati, you all know the meaning of Prajapati means, specially they are actually descended in this, or they appeared in this material world to develop the population. So they are actually Prajapatis. So these people are actually very pious people. The Prasedas are very pious people, and they are looking for the place to follow the austerity. Okay, when they are actually traveling, um, they happen to see a great reservoir of water. So here they are comparing the quality of that place, means they are explaining or elaborating the condition of that place. Whenever we are looking for the austerity, if you want to follow certain austerity, the first thing come into our mind is we are looking for the favorable atmosphere. The atmosphere should be favorable. Okay, if it is like in Dhruva Maharaj case, if we have seen the Vedic examples, in Dhruva Maharaj case, he actually wants to see the Lord. And whenever the saintly people and sages, whenever they want to do any austerity, whenever they want to perform some penances, they will immediately select or go to the secluded place like forest and all, and they want to continue their austerity. There should not be any disturbances in between while they are doing this austerity. So that is the mood of the performers. So here Prasedas is also in the same category. So they are looking for a suitable place to perform the severe austerity. And when they actually traveled towards this, actually when they are traveling, they happen to see this place, the reservoir of water. And here the water is compared, seem like the mind of a great soul. So who is a great soul? So the example is given in the purport in the Bhagavad Gita 7.19. Bahunam janmanam mante jnanavanmam prapatyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Durlabhaka. So Vasudeva Sarvamiti, the great soul, is defined as he knows that Vasudeva is all and all. Whatever is happening, whatever causes in this material world, everything is happen under the guidance or under the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who knows this, okay, so he is actually considered as Mahatma, okay, Mahatma. So we all are actually Jivatma. The Jivatma, naturally, we all are part and parcel of Krishna. Mamaivamsa Jivaloki Jiva Buddha Sanatanaga. We all are part and parcel of Krishna. So by nature, our soul is transcendental part. Okay, so because of our anarthas, it covered the soul. So because of this, our heavy covering, even though actually when we are actually thinking about or discussing about the demigods, those who are the living beings in the upper planetary systems, their bodily, like their physical nature or body is very effulgent compared to the people in the earthly planet, the below planetary systems. So they are little effulgent and they have little more power than the lower living beings. Lower in the sense, the lower planetary systems, who are all living in the lower planetary systems. So even in this material world, there is a lot of difference between the planets. The living beings in the planets means what to talk of the spiritual living entity. Okay, the Atma is actually belongs to the spiritual planet. So it is naturally very powerful. So in the Vedas, it is mentioned that it is actually 10,000 times more effulgent than the sun. Even we can't even see the sun through our naked eyes. Okay, so what to speak of this spirit soul? We can't actually see the spirit soul, the Jivatma, the talking about Jivatma. Okay, so the Atma is so powerful, but that Atma, because of this ignorant layer, because of this covering, it couldn't identify ourselves. Means who are we? And what is our relationship with the Lord? Why we are here? What we have to do? We totally forgot because of our this heavy layer. Okay, covered by this layer because we totally forgot. The Mahatmas are one who knows this truth. Atato Brahma Jignasa. Whoever is actually taking birth in this material world, their first, the purpose of this life should be Atato Brahma Jignasa, means we have to actually find out the truth. Who are we? Why we are here? What is our duty? So what we have to do and what we shouldn't do. So where we have to go, what should be our final destination? These things should be cleared up. That is the purpose of our life. Okay, but the various people, they are trying various level of austerity and they want to actually achieve or try to get the truth, the absolute truth, like jnanis, yogis, and devotees. So out of all these category, the jnanis, they are actually trying to find the absolute truth through their knowledge, by developing the knowledge. So in this Mahatma, it is mentioned that Vasudeva Sarvamiti means one who understands that Supreme Personality of Godhead is the all in all. So what is required in this? To become Mahatma, one has to develop the knowledge. So the knowledge is important. And the next point is knowledge means not theoretical knowledge. It mentions here that it actually really, the means is, what it really means is we have to practically understand who the God is and what is our relationship with the Lord. That is important. That is Mahatma, not simply the theoretical knowledge, the practical knowledge, the practical implementation is important. So those who are actually practically following or applying this knowledge in their day-to-day life, they are coming under this Mahatma category. Okay. So those that Mahatma, their mind is always calm and quiet and desireless. Anya bilashida shunyam. Jnana karmadi anavritam. Means there is no expectation, there is no demand. They don't have anything in this material world because they are always connected themselves with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So their mind is very calm. Even though the challenges come because of this material atmosphere, but they won't be affected by this material modes. So those people are called actually Mahatmas. So the devotees are, the pure devotees are in that category, because the definition of pure devotee is given as Anya Bilashida Sunyam Jnana Karmati Anavritam. And when we are talking about this having no desire other than to serve Krishna, there is another nice verse in Bhagavad Gita in 2.17. Apuryamanam achala pratishtam. This is such a wonderful verse. So in that, even though a lot of rivers are actually joining to the ocean is always full. Okay, but it always with waves and all. But even though a lot of rivers are actually joining or ending with the ocean, it is not affected by the rivers. Okay, so the rivers will actually, all the rivers will flow towards their end destination is the ocean only. But ocean water is always full, but it won't overflow. It won't get affected by those joining. So similarly, the devotee's mind is compared to the ocean. Here actually, in the first line, it is given that near the sea, the reservoir of water. See, the another thing is near the sea is usually we call that place as bay. Okay, so the bay water is actually, there is no waves in that bay water. When we compare to the ocean, even the ocean is also not overflow, okay, because of these additional river waters. But this reservoir of water, this bay water is very, very actually soft and calm, very quiet and calm compared to the ocean water. So they have seen that place. So the devotee's mind is compared to the water, bay water. Okay, and due to his association with Krishna, a devotee is always very calm and cool. So this is the first paragraph actually describe about the quality of a pure devotee. Okay. So shall we move on to the next paragraph? Marji, could you continue with that? You are in mute, Mataji.
Yeah, I'll read, Mataji.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or anyone else can read. If anyone is ready to read.
Sure, only one paragraph, Mataji, I'll read.
Yeah, please continue.
Okay, Hari Bol. Purport by Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This material world is often described as an ocean of nescience. In such an ocean, everything is agitated. The mind of a great devotee is also like an ocean or a very large lake, but there's no agitation. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.41, Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana. Those who are fixed in the service of the Lord are not agitated by anything. It is also stated in Bhagavad Gita 6.22, Yasmin sthito na dukkhena guru na pi vichalyate. Even if he suffers some reversals in life, a devotee is never agitated. Therefore, whoever takes shelter of a great soul or a great devotee becomes pacified. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 19.149, it is stated, Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ata Eva Shanta. A devotee of Lord Krishna is always peaceful because he has no desire, whereas the yogis, karamis, and jnanis have so many desires to fulfill. One may argue that the devotees have desires, for they wish to go home back to Godhead. But such a desire does not agitate the mind. Although he wishes to go back to Godhead, a devotee is satisfied in any condition of life. Consequently, the word Mahan Manaha is used in this verse to indicate that the reservoir of water was as calm, as quiet as the mind of a great devotee. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So, in continuation with the quality of a pure devotee, in the purport of 7.19, there are actually few more points that we have to remember these points. The first thing is, while the devotees, while they are actually executing their devotional service, this devotional service won't award, they won't actually get this opportunity immediately. Means once we have taken the human birth, it doesn't mean that, okay, that person will do devotional service at this lifetime. There is no guarantee at all. We are also experiencing, we are also seeing around the world, no? Many people are there, but how many of them are actually getting attracted towards this philosophy and getting involved in this devotional service? No, only few of us. So that is clearly mentioned that after many births, Bhagunam Janmanam Ante. So few people, those who are interested, they will actually get the chance to do this devotional service. When we are doing this devotional service, situated in transcendental pure knowledge, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of spiritual realization. So the first understanding is they will come to know who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so that is the first realization when we are doing devotional service to the Lord. So that time, the first realization is who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the second step is one is trying to give up one's attachment to materialism. Then once we understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we will actually try to detach from this material world. So that is the second stage of realization. Okay, and the third one is when one is further advanced, he can understand that there are activities in the spiritual life and that these activities constitute devotional service. So because gentle understanding is, okay, here only we are getting lot of commitments, responsibilities and all. Once we have actually leave from this material world, we will be completely free. So we no need to do anything. This is a general understanding. But when we started coming or crossing over these two realizations, then the third realization is no, the service will continue eternally, not only in this material world, after this life also we will continue the devotional service. So that is the third stage of realization. Okay, then the fourth one is realizing this, he becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and surrenders to him. Then the fourth stage is, then automatically he will develop attachment towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because our service towards the Lord, it's eternal. Okay, once we know, once we are actually confirmed that, okay, this relationship will continue, then we will automatically get attachment, that it develops, we will develop attachment towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the fourth stage. So these are the realizations, okay, while we are doing this devotional service. And at such time, one can understand that Lord Sri Krishna's mercy is everything, that he is the cause of all causes. So they have a strong faith that whatever happens in this material world, it's all by the mercy of the Lord. So we will have the mentality that understanding will come to that person clearly. Okay, and this material world is actually the reflection of the spiritual world. Thus, he thinks of everything in relation with Vasudeva or Sri Krishna. Such a universal vision of Vasudeva participants one's to surrender to the Supreme Lord. Then automatically they will surrender to the Supreme Lord. So these are the different types of realization once we actually started doing devotional service towards the Supreme Lord. Okay. Mati, do you have any question or you want to continue reading? Have any question? Yeah.
Mataji, those stages, can you please say it again? Sorry to make you repeat.
Okay, this is actually given in the 7.19 purport, Bhagavad Gita
7.19?
Yeah, 7.19.
Okay.
But
Mataji.
these points are actually, I have taken few points from that purport. So if you want, I will just repeat it. The first stage is we will understand that once we are actually started doing devotional service of the Lord, we will get the knowledge that who is supreme. We will understand the supreme person, the position of the supreme personality of Godhead. Then the second one is automatically we will try to give up our attachment towards materialism. This is the second stage of realization. And the third one is we will understand that these devotional activities will continue after this life also. Means even in the liberated stage also, this devotional service will continue. So this is the third realization, third stage of realization. Once we understand that the devotional service will continue, then automatically we will develop attachment towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the fourth stage is we will actually come to the conclusion that whatever is happening in this material world is all by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the cause of all causes. Then we will surrender unto him. Okay. So this is given in 7.19 purport. So actually, Srila Prabhupada wanted all his disciples to become the first class devotee. Okay, he wants to all our the devotee communication, the community, all the members in the community should be the first class devotee. So the character and the behavior is very, very important. That is the purification. Okay, if we are actually claiming ourselves that we are in the purification process, means there should be the change in our character and the activity also. So he particularly mentioned the Brahmanical qualities of goodness in the Bhagavad Gita 18.42. The purport Prabhupada clearly mentioned that the Brahmanical quality or Sadvik Guna is important. So the qualities, these qualities are possessed by what Prabhupada called a good and intellectual man. In his purport to Srimad Bhagawtam 5.18.12, Srila Prabhupada listed 26 qualities of a devotee. Quality means Mahatma, a pure Vaishnava means he should possess these 26 qualities. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also Kavichandra Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami, he mentions, he listed out these qualities. I will just read out these qualities. There are 26 qualities. He is very kind to everyone. He does not make anyone his enemy. He is truthful. He is equal to everyone. No one can find any fault in him. He is magnanimous. He is mild. He is always clean. He is without possessions. He works for everyone's benefit. He is very peaceful. He is always surrendered to Krishna. He has no material desires. He is very meek. He is steady. He controls his senses. He does not eat more than required. He is not influenced by Lord's illusory energy. He offers respect to everyone. He does not desire any respect for himself. Amanina Manadina. He is very grave. He is merciful. He is friendly. He is poetic. He is expert. He is silent. So these are the 26 qualities of your Vaishnava. And automatically, all these qualities will develop within us when we advance in devotional path. When we are performing more devotional service, then as we discussed in the previous paragraph, like the realization will come, the changes will come automatically. Okay, these are the qualities of a pure Vaishnava. Okay, and in the second paragraph, it is given that Vyavasa Atmiha Buddhihi Ekeha Guru Nandana means we should be focused in our life. The Krishna consciousness is the only solution to get out of this samsara chakra. So we should actually focus. Krishna is actually residing within us as Paramatma. He is acting as a Chaitya Guru. In the outside, the spiritual master is actually acting as the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So following their guidance is very, very important to purify our consciousness to advance in our spiritual path. So Ekeha Guru Nandana, we should actually follow the instructions of our spiritual master. That is very much important. And secondly, it is mentioned that Yasmin Stitoda Na Dukena. Vidyate means a devotee is never agitated. Since we are in this material world, because of the atmosphere or because of the surroundings, we may get affected. The desires will come, but the devotees, they never get affected by those desires. The material desires will come and go. Like Apuryamanam Achala Pratishtam. This is such a nice verse in second chapter, 70th verse. Okay. Apa Pravishanti means like the waves will keep on coming, but the ocean water, they won't actually overflow. Similarly, even in the minds of the devotee, the desires will come, but they won't be affected by those desires. They will immediately actually get out or come out of this unwanted things. Kamayam pravishanti sarve. They will automatically come out from this unwanted desires. Sashantim, their mind will be always calm and quiet. So this is the glorious character of a pure devotee. Okay. So Krishna Bhakti will actually take us to that level. If you are following the Krishna conscious life, if you are following the instruction of a spiritual master, then automatically that satisfaction will come. Self-satisfied mood will come. The mind will never get agitated. Okay. So shall we move on to the next verse? Is there any question? Okay. Text 21. Can anyone of you repeat after me?
May I, Mataji?
Yeah, please. Thank you. Neela Raktotphalamboja
Neela Raktotphalamboja
Kahtat. 1 minute. Kahlaren Rendivaraakaram
Kahla Rendivaraakaram
Kamsa Sarasa Chakrava
Kamsa Sarasa Chakrava
Karantava Nikujitam.
Karantava Nikujitam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In that great lake, there were different types of lotus flowers. Some of them were bluish and some of them were red. Some of them grew at night, some in the day, and some, like the Indivara lotus flower, in the evening. Combined together, the lotus flowers filled the lake so full that the lake appeared to be a great mine of such flowers. Consequently, on the shores there were swans and cranes, chakravakas, karandvas, and other beautiful water birds standing about. Shall I continue the purport?
Yeah, could you continue with the purport, Mataji?
Okay. The word akaram, mine, is significant in this verse, for the reservoir of water appeared like a mine from which different types of lotus flowers were produced. Some of the lotus flowers grew during the day, some at night, and some in the evening, and accordingly they had different names and different colors. All these flowers were present on that lake. And because the lake was so calm and quiet and filled with lotus flowers, superior birds like swans, chakravakas, and karandvas stood on the shores and vibrated their different songs, making the entire scene attractive and beautiful. As there are different types of human beings according to the association of the three qualities of material nature, there are similarly different types of birds, bees, trees, etc. Everything is divided according to the three qualities of material nature. Birds like swans and cranes who enjoy clear waters and lotus flowers are different from crows who enjoy filthy places. Similarly, there are persons who are controlled by the modes of ignorance and passion, and those who are controlled by the mode of goodness. The creation is so varied that there are always varieties found in every society. Thus, on the bank of this lake, all the superior birds live to enjoy that atmosphere created by that great reservoir filled with lotus flowers. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So, the lake actually looks like very calm and quiet, but in the lake there are different types of flowers and different types of birds are there. So Prabhupada in the purport clearly mentioned that based on the modes, even in the birds, according to Sattvic guna, Rajasic guna, and Tamasic guna, whichever guna dominates, the bad has different forms. even though they are come in the same category, birds category. As a human being, we are also generally, we are actually claiming that we are all human beings. But in the human beings, there are different types of people based on the level of modes. Okay. Similarly, in all the sources, like there are birds, flowers, trees, in everywhere, based on their modes, they have different forms. But here, generally, the lotus flower is compared as the spiritual one, very peaceful, very auspicious one. And it is, yeah, generally considered for spiritual atmosphere. When we are comparing, like the Lord's nature also compared as like the lotus-like eye, lotus feet, lotus navel, like the lotus is compared to the transcendental platform. Okay, the examples are taken for lotus only. So these lotus flowers, when I just actually searched in the net about these lotuses, here there are different types of lotuses are given. So the speciality is the first line actually here, Prabhupada mentioned that akaram. Akaram means the mind. The mind is the meaning of the word mind is it is the source of everything, like gold mine and like other materials are there. No? So like that, the mind means it is the source of energy. It contains all the thing. So here, the lake contains, even though it is very calm and quiet, it contains the varieties. Okay. So the lotuses actually, there are different types of lotuses are mentioned here, like white, blue, and usually the pink color, yellow color lotuses. So I don't know whether have you all seen the different color lotuses. I didn't get a chance to actually see in all these types of.
Only Mataji. Yeah.
Yeah, from our side. But actually, these lotuses are available still in different places in the world, like white lotus or in Egypt. In Egypt, lot of white lotuses are available. In America, yellow lotus are available. And in Africa, blue lotus are available. I don't know whether you heard about this or you are aware of this, but these are new information for me. So these things are actually present in this material world, then what to speak of the spiritual atmosphere? So these lotuses are still present in Egypt and all. And when we are actually comparing what it symbolizes, okay, what is the meaning of these lotuses, why these different colors are mentioned in this purport means the pink lotus symbolizes the attainment of enlightenment or reaching nirvana. So actually we usually in the transcendental understanding, there are three types of understanding. Vadanti tattva sattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti sabdyate. There are three types of transcendental realization. The first stage is Brahman, means nirvana, Brahman stage. The second one is Paramatma realization. And the third one is Bhagavan realization. So here actually the lotuses of different colors symbolizes different characteristics of the people. So the first one, pink lotus flower, symbolizes the attainment of enlightenment. So just the transcendental knowledge means the initial stage, the Brahman realization. And yellow lotus flower meaning includes openness, hospitality, and welcoming, generous heart. Means this Paramatma means the Lord presents everywhere. He presents in every living entity. So we should actually treat them equally. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini. No? So the equality. So the yellow lotus flower includes openness, hospitality, and a welcoming and generous heart. The blue lotus flower symbolizes of understanding or greater knowledge and ultimately greater wisdom. So means the greater wisdom, the highest knowledge is what? Understanding the supreme personality of Godhead. That is the highest understanding. So these different colors actually symbolizes different level of understanding. Okay. So these are few points about the different colors in the lotuses, okay, and what it symbolizes. And white lotus flower means, yeah, we all know white indicates the purity, okay, grace, peacefulness, and faith. Okay, so these are different level, different types of why they specifically mention these different color lotus flowers in that. And again about the birds, these swans and cranes. Prabhupada clearly mentioned that different types of birds are there, but swans and cranes, they will actually enjoy with the clear water. They won't go with the filthy water. So, but crow and all, they will actually will be in the filthy place. So these are actually, so all these different varieties of flowers and these birds indicate that that place is not a normal place. Okay, this is a spiritually qualified or transcendental atmosphere. So these are few indications that about the quality of that place. Okay, shall we move on to the next verse? Text 22. Can anyone of you repeat after me?
Shall I, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Krishnamurti Prabhu. Matta Brahmara Sauswarya
Matta Brahmara Sauswarya
Krishtaroma Latangripam
Prishta Roma Latangripam
Batmakosha Rajo Dikshu
Padmakosho Rajo Dikshu
Vikshipat Pavanotsavam.
Vikshipat Pavanotsavam. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. There were various trees and creepers on all sides of the lake, and there were mad humbleness humming all about them. The trees appeared to be very jolly due to the sweet humming of the humbleness, bumblebees, and the saffron which was contained in the lotus flowers was being thrown into the air. These are all created such an atmosphere that it appeared as though a festival were taking place there. Super. Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Trees and creepers are also different types of living beings. When bumblebees come upon trees and creepers to collect honey, certainly such plants become very happy. On such an occasion, the wind also takes advantage of the situation by throwing fallen pollen or saffron contained in the lotus flowers. All this combines with the sweet vibration created by the swans and the calm of the water. The Prachetas considered the place to be like a continuous festival. From this description, it appears that the Prachetas reached Shivaloka, which is supposed to be situated near the Himalaya mountains. Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranams Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So here, they specifically mention the atmosphere creates the jolly mood to the living being, because the festival mood, all are in the festivity mood. So actually these austerities and penances should be followed. What is the purpose of doing these austerities and penances? Why it is recommended in the Shastras? What is the purpose of doing this? Why?
To get moksha, Mataji, moksha. To please Lord Vishnu.
Okay, to please Lord Vishnu. Yeah, wonderful.
Is it for purification, Mataji?
For our own purification. Why we have to purify ourselves? Are we not pure now?
Yeah, it leads to control of senses. Senses are going haywire. So
the influence of material nature is on us.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Influence of material nature is on us. It will disturb us.
Yeah, that point is important. It is actually disturbing. So disturbing in the sense, we all are actually looking for happiness. We want to be satisfied. We want the eternal result, eternal happiness. We all are looking for eternal happiness. We all are looking for the eternal satisfaction. So this atmosphere actually clearly says that everybody is happy and satisfied. All the living beings in that atmosphere is in the jolly mood. The festivity mood is they are actually very much satisfied and they are happy. They are enjoying their life. Okay. So, and not eternal in the sense, not in the material platform, it is in the transcendental platform. So it actually, the atmosphere is in the transcendental atmosphere. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentioned that the Prashedas already reached Shiva Loka, the abode of Lord Shiva. Okay. And the abode of Lord Shiva is actually described beautifully in the Dhruva Maharaj, Dhruva Charita, in the beginning of the 4th canto. The next verse is 23. Can any of you repeat after me?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'll repeat.
Sorry.
Yeah, Sudha Mataji. Yeah. Sudha Mataji can do. Tatra Gandharvam Akarnya
Tatra Gandharvamakarnya
Divyamarga Manoharam
Divyamarga Manoharam
Vishimyu Rajaputraste
Vishimyu Rajaputraste
Mridanga Panavadyanau.
Mridanga Panavadyanau. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The son of the king became very much amazed when they heard vibrations from various drums and kettle drums, along with other orderly musical sounds pleasing to the ear. Purport. In addition to the various flowers and living entities about the lake, there were also many musical vibrations. The void of the impersonalist, which has no variegatedness, is not at all pleasing compared with such a scene. Actually, one has to attain the perfection of Satchit Ananda, eternity, bliss, and knowledge. Because the impersonalists deny these varieties of creation, they cannot actually enjoy transcendental bliss. The place where the Prachetas arrived was the abode of Lord Shiva. Impersonalists are generally worshippers of Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva is never without variety in his abode. Thus, wherever one goes, whether to the planet of Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, or Lord Brahma, there is a variety to be enjoyed by persons full in knowledge and bliss. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Madhuri. So it is clearly mentioned that we all are actually looking for varieties and we all are seeking happiness. So there is no scarcity of all these things in the spiritual world. So it is clearly mentioned, but the impersonalists, they are falsely claiming that only this material world is full of these varieties. If you go to the spiritual world, there is everything is same, and we can actually merge with the Lord. That is their philosophy, impersonalist. But here it is that the variegatedness is there, means the individuality is there. It is eternally there. Okay, so impersonalists generally they are worshippers of Lord Shiva. They are actually worshipping Lord Shiva, but they don't have the clear understanding. From this purport, it is our understanding. No, they don't have the clear understanding that even though they are worshipping Shiva, but in his abode he has lot of varieties, and there is always blissful, Satchit Ananda, always eternity, bliss and knowledge. It is filled with all these three qualities. But I don't know why these followers don't believe in this bliss and knowledge. Anyway, so Lord Shiva is never without this abode. Thus, wherever one goes, whether to the planet of Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, or Lord Brahma, wherever, whether in this material world or spiritual world, wherever we go, there is always this eternity, bliss, and knowledge will be there. Okay, so there is no scarcity in that. Next verse 24 and 25. Navkishwari Mataji, could you repeat after this? After me?
Yes, Mataji, sure. Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Mataji, Dandavati.
Pranams,
Thank
Mataji. Tarhyeva sarashastasman
Tarhi eva sarasasvatvam
Nishkramantam sahanugam
nishkramantam sahanugam
Upagiyamanam amara
upageyemanam amara
Pravaram vibudhanugaihi
pravaram vibudhanugaihi
Taptahe
taptahe
Shitikantam trilochanam
sitikantham trilochanam
Prasada sumukam vikshya
prasada sumukham vikshya
Pranemurjata kautukaha.
prane murjata kautukaha. Thank you, Mataji. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Pracheta were fortunate to see Lord Shiva, the chief of the demigods, emerging from the water with his associates. His bodily luster was just like molten gold. His throat was bluish, and he had 3 eyes which looked very mercifully upon his devotees. He was accompanied by many musicians who were glorifying him. As soon as Pracheta saw Lord Shiva, they immediately offered their obeisances in great amazement and fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord. Purport: the word Vibhudhanu Gaiha indicates that Lord Shiva is always accompanied by the denizens of the higher planets known as Gandharvas and Kinnaras. They are very expert in musical science, and Lord Shiva is worshipped by them constantly. In the pictures, Lord Shiva is generally painted white, but here we find that the color of his skin is not exactly white, but like molten gold or a glowing yellowish color. Because Lord Shiva is always very, very merciful, his name is Ashatosha. Amongst all the demigods, Lord Shiva can be pacified even by the lowest class of men who need only offer him obeisances and leaves of a bell tree. Thus, his name is Ashutosha, which means that he is pleased very quickly. Generally, those who are very fond of material prosperity approach Lord Shiva for such benedictions. The Lord, being very merciful, quickly awards all the blessings the devotees ask of him. The demons take advantage of this leniency and sometimes take benedictions from Lord Shiva, which can be very dangerous to others. For instance, Vrakrasura took a benedictions from Lord Shiva by which he could kill everyone. He touched on the head. Although Lord Shiva sometimes very liberally gives such benedictions to his devotees, the difficulty is that the demons, being very cunning, sometimes want to experiment improperly with such benedictions. For instance, after receiving his benedictions, Vitasura tried to touch the head of Lord Shiva. Devotees of Lord Vishnu, however, have no desire for such benedictions, and Lord Vishnu does not give his devotees benedictions which would cause disturbance to the whole world. Hare Krishna. Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you,
Dandavati
Mataji.
Pranaam.
And Smarji. So here they are meeting with Lord Shiva. The Prashedas are actually meeting Lord Shiva, and the qualities of Lord Shiva is mentioned here. He is actually always accompanied by the denizens of higher planetary systems like Gandharvas and Kinnaras. That's because of them only. Then the previous words it is mentioned that they heard the vibrations, the transcendental musics were actually, the vibrations were there. The Prashedas, when they were in that spot, they heard the musical sound. Okay, so because Lord Shiva is always accompanied with the Gandharvas and Kinnaras, they are very expert in singing and playing these instruments. Gandharvas and the Kinnaras are, see, musical science, and Lord Shiva is worshipped by them. And Lord Shiva is also known as Ashutosh. Ashutosh means he is very merciful. So whoever is actually worshipping him with any demand or any anything they want, then immediately Shiva will actually sanction. He will give that benediction. And he won't think about the effect of that benediction. So he actually many times, because of that, he faced many dangers because of this, his own benedictions. Like Vrikashura is mentioned here. Because Vrikashura, he is a Ashura, he wants to actually get the benediction, is such a foolish benediction. So they are actually, by following this austerity, they want to get actually wherever he is placing his hand, means on the head of anybody, the person should immediately die. So that is a benediction. That is a boon actually he got from Lord Shiva. And immediately he wants to try that boon with Lord Shiva himself. So like that, the Lord Shiva immediately actually sanctioned all their demands, and because of that he will also many times actually faced many challenges or dangers in their life. So he is actually Ashutosh, very merciful. So we'll move on to the last verse 26. Divya Marji, do you want to repeat after me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Satan prapannatiharo
Satan prapanna iharu
Bhagavan dharma vatsalaha
Bhagavan Dharmavatsalah
Dharmagyan Shila Sampannan
Dharmajnan Shila Sampanna
Prita Prithanuvachaha.
Rita Pritan Uvachah. Shall I read the translation, Mataji?
Yeah.
Translation. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Shiva became very pleased with the Prachetas because generally Lord Shiva is the protector of pious persons and persons of gentle behavior. Being very much pleased with the princess, he began to speak as follows. Can I continue, Mataji?
Yeah.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu or Krishna, is known as Bhakta Vatsala, and herein we find Lord Shiva described as Dharma Vatsala. Of course, the word Dharma Vatsala refers to a person who lives according to religious principles. That is understood nonetheless. These two words have additional significance. Sometimes Lord Shiva has no deal with persons who are in the modes of passion and ignorance. Such persons are not always very much religious and pious in their activities, but since they worship Lord Shiva for some material profit, they sometimes obey the religious principles. As soon as Lord Shiva sees that his devotees are following religious principles, he blesses them. The Prachetas, sons of Prachina Bari, were naturally very pious and gentle, and consequently Lord Shiva was immediately pleased with them. Lord Shiva could understand that the princes were sons of Vaishnavas, and as such, Lord Shiva offered prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead as follows. Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams.
Thank you, Mati. Thank you so much. So here actually Lord Shiva is glorified as Dharma Vatsala. Like Krishna will be glorified as Bhakta Vatsala. Here Shiva is glorified as Dharma Vatsala. The difference is he will immediately give boon or grant the desires of Bhaktas. Krishna will actually immediately fulfill the desires of Bhaktas. But here Dharma means whoever is following the religious principle. So whether they are not in the higher level, if they are simply following little religious principle also, the Shiva will be pleased with them. So immediately he will sanction their demands. Okay. So most of the followers of Lord Shiva are they are in the mode of passion and ignorance. So because of these modes, because they are associating with these modes, they are always demanding for the material benefit only. So immediately Shiva will actually sanction their material demands. And because of that also, he has to face some problems in the during that situation. So Lord Shiva sees that his devotees are following religious principle. So if he is actually ready to give boon to the passion and ignorant people, then what to speak of sattvic people, those who are actually following religious principles? He will immediately pleased by simply seeing them. So here also in this case, Prashedas are very pious people, and by simply seeing them, he understood that Lord Shiva understood that these peoples are actually very pious people, and he is ready to give the good benediction or the highest benediction to these people. Okay, to Prashedas. So it is actually, the next one is Rudra Gita. Yeah, you all are actually going to hear the words of Lord Shiva. So here the Prashedas are actually the sons of the Vaishnavas. They came in the good dynasty, actually the Vaishnava dynasty, and they are also, the quality wise, they are very pious people. So Lord Shiva is actually going to tell them about the important topics. He's going to share about the important topics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. So we'll end our session today. Sorry for the delay. So the main point is the austerity. The Prashedas are actually trying to trying to follow the austerity, which is recommended by their father. And the purpose of austerity is to purify ourselves, to understand the purpose of our life. And we should actually perform this austerity to follow these principles, these religious principles in our day-to-day life, and to reach the right destination. So that should be the purpose of following this austerity. And Prashedas are actually going to do that one. Okay. So any additional points or comments?
Hari Bol Mataji. Very interesting class. As usual, very interesting class. Mataji, today I just heard one lecture. I just wanted to share with you all. Just a quick, I'll not go in detail. Like actually, Mataji, it's so nice. Prabhuji was telling, actually, this place is like See, there are two things, hotel and hospital. Okay.
Mm.
But what we are under illusion that we are thinking and we are very happy. I mean, we are thinking that this material place, material world we are living is a hotel, and whatever we ask, we will be served.
Okay.
It will come. That is our illusion that we are thinking like that. But actually, it is a hospital where all our needs are being fulfilled by the Lord. I really loved it. So I just thought I will share it with you.
Nice.
I don't know to think deep about it, but it is so true now, Mataji. We are all hankering for happiness. We have
Yeah.
mentioned in this verse also.
ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ
But
See,
we are
the
under